Dad. How are you today?
Hi, Jordana. Another beautiful weekend and a wonderful weekend with Hallmark that we observed. Yes.
Yeah, it was we're still in the countdown to Christmas. It seems like Christmas keeps on coming, and Hallmark has so many movies to offer. This weekend,
Yes.
we got to see A Christmas
Oh,
Island.
It was very interesting, and there's a lot of stories about Christmas Island and a lot of history that this movie brought for our attention.
Tell us, I didn't know anything about this island or where it was located, which I thought was
Yes.
fascinating.
Well, Christmas Island is actually a location in the northern portion of Canadian Nova Scotia. It's right on the bay, and there is a lot of lobster fishing off of that island. And it's most noted at this time of the year because people from around the world send their letters to Christmas Island to be stamp marked with the postmark Christmas Island. And so they get thousands and thousands of letters. And this movie brought forth the fact that Christmas Island is noted for its postmark.
And I thought what was very cool, when we were looking a little bit about this, the writers got their idea for this movie, which I kind of thought of. Reminded me of when the Broadway musical
Come From Away.
Come From Away,
Yeah.
which was about Newfoundland.
Yes.
And
about Gander, Newfoundland,
yes, and
the air base.
The air base.
Yes.
And they kind of got the idea of this movie because we had a very well-to-do family that had all these people helping them and a nanny and all of this, got stuck on their private
They were
jet.
overachievers and they didn't have time for their family because they were so busy with their business.
Exactly. And this kind of what happened, and our fans will be able to see this, is the mishap that happens with weather increments, which we all kind of happen with flying.
They had to land somewhere.
Right.
Yes.
They had to land somewhere, like in Come Far Away. And it happened to be Christmas Island.
Yes. If you remember, unfortunately, during 9/11, 2001, there were about 40 jet planes traveling across the Atlantic Ocean who couldn't come back to the United States, and they had to land somewhere. And so around 40 of these big jets had to land in Gander, Newfoundland, of all places. And Gander is a town of 10,000 people in the middle of nowhere, Newfoundland. And suddenly 10,000 people came off the airplanes and had nowhere to go to stay. And the people of Gander took them into their homes and became friends. And they were isolated for 5 days. And these wonderful people in Canada brought them in and made them feel part of their family.
Which was just like in this Christmas Island.
And that's beautiful. And that's where the author, I'm sure, got part of her story.
Because that's exactly what happened. They had to make this exact landing. And it showed there was no hotels, there was no bed and breakfast room, so the community took them in.
Right.
And you had the mayor taking them in, and it was so wonderful, I thought, because of course there was love in this one, because all Hallmark includes finding love.
Yes.
And so our main characters, which will be familiar to Hallmark watchers, Rachel, and I can't pronounce her name, it's Sarstin or something like that. She was the royal nanny last year in a movie. And Andrew Walker, which everybody knows who watches Hallmark, he's in this one and he's fantastic.
Yes.
They find love, of course, but she's the pilot and he's the air traffic controller. And
he happened to just be on Christmas Island.
On Christmas Island,
yes,
right?
That's where he lived where the plane landed.
Exactly. And so what happened, she had to. I thought the greatest part, and I'm sure you did too, was that it was about family. It was about taking a little time, getting back to what you loved, because this family didn't know what it was like to just be in the Christmas spirit.
And this Hallmark movie brought them together as a family once again, so they could be together and they can enjoy family life and family values.
And it showed
Yes.
traditions. And so one of them that we loved was the lobster cages,
Yes,
the traps.
throughout the East Coast in lobster country, it's tradition in Massachusetts and in Maine and all along the Nova Scotia coast to have trees, Christmas trees, actually made of lobster traps. And what they do is they make their trees of these lobster traps and they put adorning on these trees the names of lobster fishermen who have died while fishing for lobster.
They were lost at sea.
Lost at sea. And this is
With
tradition.
the buoys, with the buoys.
With the buoys
Yes.
from the lobster traps. And this is a tradition even today. And the authors of this beautiful Hallmark movie
Story.
brought that in to something that we in the Midwest or wherever you live on the West Coast don't celebrate. And if you go out to Maine or Nova Scotia at this time of the year, instead of having big spruce trees, they have trees like made of lobster traps and adorned with the names of the poor fishermen who have passed.
Yeah, I thought it was a beautiful tradition that they brought out, and I love that
Yes.
this family that's in this story that it's about is they started with their roots, and he wasn't like he designed their first location with electrical and the building of it, and he was able to bring out and actually use his hands to build the tree, and so it showed him doing that. And then the wife was a designer, and she got to make these dresses.
And then Hallmark brought this love feature coming in about two perfect strangers having something in common and finding love, albeit only 2 or 3 days. But that's okay. We know people who fell in love immediately and they ran off and got married. And what's interesting was that she is a commercial pilot and he is a traffic controller.
Who's scared to fly.
But he's scared of flying. And so at the end, you have a feeling that he flew off to Europe with his love interest.
Yeah.
And everybody lived happily thereafter.
Right. So I recommend this. What do you give this one on your rating scale?
Well, I thought it was very, very interesting. There was not a whole lot of shedding of tears, but there was a shedding of joy at this time of the year.
Yeah.
And we all know that we need a little joy in our life. So I'm waiting for next week. What is for next week?
So next week we have there's not a Thursday night one, which I thought was interesting, but we have a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night one. We've been reviewing for all of our fans the Saturday night ones. We're going to continue that one. But we are watching the other ones. Like last week, we did end up watching Sunday night one already, and we loved that one. That was the Joy. I can't pronounce it. It's French. It's
I don't.
It's Joy au Noel, and that was
Noel,
a fantastic one. Definitely watch that one. I believe we really loved that one. But next Friday night is called Navigating Christmas. Saturday night, which we will be back reviewing next weekend, is called A Merry Scottish Christmas, which I think we're really going to like. That is with one of our favorite Hallmark stars who was in the Veil series, Lacey. She has also a French last name, Chabert. And she is with her Party of Five star, Scott Wolf. So that should be fantastic, I think.
Yes. This should be very interesting.
Yeah.
And remember that tomorrow night, the Kansas City football team plays, and we'll see the love of Taylor Swift's life playing, and maybe Taylor Swift will be in Kansas City tomorrow. So we'll look forward to that game tomorrow night, and we look forward to Hallmark next Saturday.
Yeah.
And till then, everybody have a wonderful week.
Great. Have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.